What up, ladies and gentlemen? Here with another awesome interview with none other than Mr. Scott Hill, who is an incredible frontman, incredible guitar player of one of the most legendary, I guess, stoner rock bands of all time, Fu Manchu. Welcome.
Thank you. Well, thank you. Thank you.
It's an honor to have you on the show. I'm not sure if you know this or not, but I was very lucky to have Mr. Brant of Caius on the
Oh,
show. Like a couple months back, and he was awesome. So I'm very glad I
nice.
finagled you
Nice.
on.
He's a good dude. He's a good dude.
He is. It was so cool, just getting to speak to a legend like yourself.
Ah,
Getting to
well,
speak to these people that influence so much of modern music is just sick. And
nice.
I have to congratulate you on your new album, which is fun album, great album, and y'all have been touring, and it's so cool to see all the footage, like tour footage, and you get to see all these sick moments, like in Europe and stuff, dude. That's like
Yeah, it's
pretty
fun.
awesome.
We haven't we haven't I mean usually we go out probably every other year, but we haven't been out like for a full tour, especially European tour since 2019 maybe. So,
It's like
yeah,
five
it's
years.
been a while.
And the first question I'd like to ask you is, you're going on a US tour, some with Clutch, some without. And there's one city on the tour that you are missing, and it's my city of Atlanta. So I'm sorry I have to pick this
Mhm.
battle with you, but
Got it. Got it. Yeah, yeah. Well, we only gotta uh do half the tour. So I think we might be hitting Atlanta on our own, maybe 2025, because I know we have to do like Arizona and do Texas and New Orleans, and usually that means Atlanta. So I think we'll get there. But yeah, we're not doing
awesome.
it with Clutch. So
Yeah, that's so cool. Because that tour, it comes to Raleigh. I never know how to say it in North Carolina, and y'all are so take a 4 or 5 hour drive. It's like
oh
killing me,
yeah.
man.
Are
But
you are you gonna make one of the shows or no? Maybe.
uh, my parents are lovely, and they are not willing to drive me that far. I
Understandable.
think the most is like 30 minutes because I'm not really in Atlanta. I'm farther from Atlanta. So
Yeah.
30 minutes is the max they're willing to drive me. Uh, if I could get a friend, I may try to see someone, but you know what? I'll wait for Atlanta. That'll be very fun.
All right. All right. We'll get there at some point on this record. So yeah, cool. Cool.
Awesome, man. And so the first real question, other than that, I'm sorry I had to
That's all right.
ask, but
That's all
I
right.
had
That's
to.
all right.
First question is right, amps.
Yeah.
It's become such a digital age nowadays with amp modeling systems and laptops becoming real fast, and these digital amps sound real good. uh and I know that you guys are quite a analog band, which I absolutely love, but do you see the appeal in digital, and is that a route you may take on a future album?
Um, Never. I don't think ever on a recording. I think we'll always use tube amps. Always plug into fuzz pedals into a big tube amp. But I could see touring. Maybe like with those small little
Yeah,
custom, the tiny little amp, you can bring with you on a plane if you want and, put it in your backpack.
yeah,
Um, but yeah, for now, we're still, full stacks, tube amps, loud. Um, but yeah, I mean, I can see, I don't think we'll ever use computers. In fact, we won't, you will never see us use a computer live. But, maybe those custom little you know, tiny little tiny amps, maybe, just because they're so practical and you can, like I said, put them in your backpack and get on a plane and go. But for recording, we'll always use tube heads and stuff
yeah.
just 'cause, you can tell a little bit of difference and we just like the way it sounds.
Yeah, I mean, from my perspective, right? Because I play guitar and violin, and I wanted to get pedals. Like I really want to get like I think it's called the dill pickle fuzz. I love that pedal so much,
Uh-huh.
but it's just pedals are real damn expensive. They're like 200 bucks, and
Yeah,
as a 14-year-old with, I'll get a job soon, hopefully at the end of the year, but I don't have a job now, and
got it.
it's not sustainable for me. So like I saved up some money and I got a digital amp,
Uh-huh.
and it's like a real amp, but it's got like digital pedals and stuff.
Yeah.
And I
Hmm.
mean, it's so perfect for me because I have like the desert sound, and of
Yeah,
course you can tell that like it's a little bit off on it. It's almost like a pasta dish with not enough salt. Like
got it.
it's
Yeah.
a little dull, but I
You
don't know.
know,
It's nice to be able to at least emulate at least a little bit what y'all are trying to do, you know?
yeah. I mean, hey, you get close, you can, you can always mess with it, and there's so many pedals. I mean, there's some that are cheap and you can get a good fuzz, low end sound.
Like the Boss. I really love them Bosses. They're like relatively cheap.
Yeah, actually our bass player has he makes fuzz pedals called Creepy Fingers.
Oh, what a
He,
sick
he
name.
make he makes all of our he doesn't make all of our pedals, but he makes a lot for us. We'll be at practice and we're like, he'll come in with a pedal he's just made and he's like, try this out. And we're like, oh my God, that sounds great. So and they're relatively cheap. You can, I mean, if you looked around, you can find stuff. But like I use like old Super Fuzz pedals, which are
Ooh,
pretty
yeah.
expensive. But yeah, he makes really cool fuzz pedals. They're called Creepy Fingers.
Yeah,
Um,
I'll check it out, man.
yeah, check it out. Yeah, I mean they're really cool. You get it. I mean he can get you any tone you want.
That's what I need to get into building too, because like the way people build fuzz pedals is so cool. But a thing I noticed, right, is it's funny you bring up the bassist. All the people that I've met or interviewed or just seen around that make pedals are always so cool. Like Oliver of A Place to Brave Strangers has his own pedal company, and they're always like the coolest people to ever exist, and they make like the gnarliest sounds possible.
Yeah.
Like I really do love that. That's it. Like
Yeah,
runs in
it's
the
cool. I
blood.
mean, he's very knowledgeable about tones and tubes, and so he can, and like I said, if we're like on the new record, we have some stuff that requires not our full heavy fuzz sound. And I said, hey, I
Yeah,
want to get like a tighter, little bit cleaner fuzz sound. And he built me a pedal. He's like, here you go. And I'm like, that's what I'm looking. So
yeah.
you just find a dude that knows what they're doing and they can hook you up.
Real, and I love the really tight. Like in some of the songs, you can definitely hear that. It's like a trash compactor, but it's like a
Yeah.
glory compactor. It's like
Yeah.
all the best parts of fuzz into one. And I really do love that on the new record. But
Cool.
you brought something else up about loudness, right? And I've been lucky enough to go to some historically loud shows like Swans and Dinosaur Jr. And you guys are on my list because how loud I hear it. But
Nice.
how do you protect your ears when it
I
comes to
don't,
this?
I've been playing since probably 1985. And we used to be even louder when we started. I used to play out of a full stack, 100-watt full stack,
Yeah.
and then a 200-watt full stack together. So yeah, I don't put anything in my ears. And we like our main thing is a loud stage volume. We need it loud on stage. I do not protect my ears, which is probably a bad idea, but I just like to hear. I don't know. So far so good, knocking on wood. Hearing's still pretty good, but I think our drummer he just puts in little earplugs and stuff, but
Mhm.
I can't do it. I just like to hear everything loud, and maybe when I get real old, I'm not going to want to hear anything anyway. So but yeah,
Just
you
going in
should.
blind.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah,
That'd be a really interesting album concept, actually. If y'all just all go into separate rooms and just can't hear any of the music, I wonder how that'd go. But like as a violinist, my ears are, excuse my language, but fucked. Like
yeah,
I hear ringing constantly just because of how and when I'm practicing and when I'm with other friends that do violin, I just love the overtones and how it makes you, I guess, wiggle, and you
yeah,
feel like it's cavernous, and I feel all the music inside of me, and
yeah.
it's such a euphoric feeling. But in the same sense, like after I'm blasting the new album on my headphones, take it off, and the first thing you hear is like a flashbang, and everything's just so loud, and it's like pushes
Yeah.
you back a little bit. So
Yeah, I mean, I'm the same way. I have to. not only hear it, I got to feel it. And then
Yeah.
if it's something in my ears, like, you know, I can't hear it or feel it. And like half, 90% of it is just feeling, hitting a chord loud, and you can feel it in your hands and on the guitar, and it's, yeah, that's something I need to hear and feel.
Yeah, when it's like right behind you and you feel it like just your whole trembling, it's so
Yeah,
cool.
it is. It is. That's like our main thing is playing live. So, you know, every chance we get, it's loud. It's not loud to where it's like obnoxiously like, oh, we just for the hell of it, let's turn it to five. But it's, we just like to hear it loud, on stage.
Yeah, and it's tasteful. Like when I saw Swans, it's ear-shattering loud, but they do it for a purpose, because it really
Yeah.
elevates the music. And you have to be shaking, and it's like torture, basically. It's
Yeah.
like you have to be shaking for that type of torture. Now, the music you make, I don't think is intended for torture. So
Well,
it's
no. Yeah, I know. Yeah. No,
gonna send
it's
it off to the CIA.
yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, that's cool. You saw the Swans. I saw them late 80s.
That must have been even more like,
Yeah, it was like we got it. I got into them probably maybe 1987. I had heard that they're just some big loud, and I was like, oh, okay, I gotta check it out. And I finally saw them like I think it was 88 or 89. Yeah, and it was just oh my, yeah, that's one of the loudest bands I've seen. So
yeah.
yeah, no, it's cool. It's yeah, and you're like you said, they do it tastefully to where it all works.
Oh, it does. And
They can play acoustically, and then get just loud. So yeah, that's
exactly. I
yeah.
brought my dad with me, and he's 50 years old, and he listens to Billy Joel and Elton John. And it was funny. It was real funny to see his reaction. And what I thought of immediately when you see, Michael walk out on stage and sit down, and everyone's sitting down,
Yeah.
which for a rock show you don't see. And so I remember just Nirvana in the Reading performance where Kurt Cobain walks out on a cane and like limps just to fuck with everyone.
Yeah.
Because like later into the show, the more it's a 2 hour, 30-minute show, the longer it gets, then he gets up and he starts running around, he starts slapping himself.
Yeah.
Like you forget for a second that this guy's 70 years old.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
insane. Like
True.
he slapped his butt. I don't know any 70-year-old. Like that's like my grandpa. I
Yeah.
cannot even imagine my grandpa slapping his butt at a crowd of like 1,000 just random ass people.
True.
But
True.
he was incredible.
Yeah.
And
Nice.
a question that I asked Mr. Brant, who is, kind of y'all are in the same league almost. I'd like to ask you too, if it's okay, which is like, how do you stay grounded being a musician where you touring here or you're doing interviews there? How do you not go insane, basically?
Um, just because I like doing this. I've been doing it since 85, playing like I started a punk band in 85, and I just like playing guitar. I like getting in a room with my buddies. I like hitting the road with my friends. So it's like, like yourself, you want to know anything about I'll tell you whatever you want to know. I'll answer any question. It's not like, it's not painful for me to do interviews or, get in tour bus and hit, go from, France to Germany a long, so I just like doing it. It's just, I know at some point it's going to stop. So, we might as well take advantage of it while we can still do it.
But what I really like when you watch the videos of you, I really attribute it to like a nice old Mustang, and it's like it's real loud. Like you hear like the crackling of the exhaust and everything's just it's on full cylinders going, 90, 100. That's really you guys are still going at like top capacity. Everyone's still headbanging and
Yeah.
you know, that is really something to be admired, I have to say. And I guess I have to see it for myself though.
Yes, yeah. We'll get we'll get you up on stage. You can check it out from stage or whatever. But yeah, it's like I have a hard time like, standing still. And
Yeah.
even when we record, all of us are sitting around, our drummers here, we're all kind of sitting around him, kind of sitting down and I'm still you got the headphones on. I'm still, it's hard to stay still. But yeah, that's just, it's just a love of playing live. It's like it's just you cut loose live. You get an hour and a half to play live. You might, just go for it.
Yeah. Yeah. And I have like restless foot syndrome. I think I do at least because my foot's just constantly shaking.
Hmm.
It's no, what's the point of getting a diagnosis? I'm not going to do anything about it, but it's like, I feel you the same
Yeah.
way. I have to keep moving.
Yeah.
I'm going to New Mexico tomorrow and hiking 60 miles with some friends. Like I have to, I'm a border collie. You have to keep pushing on. And I
Yeah.
can't stay. I am nocturnal though, so that is one that's one thing that kind of hinders me, but you got to keep going.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I see that. And next question, right? On this album, it's a technically it's a double album, even though you've done longer albums in the past. This is by definition a double album. What inspired you? Because I talked to Braun and Mastodon, and he said that he doesn't want to do a double album for the next release. What inspired you and the band to do a double album, and would you like to do it again?
Um, well, this is a double record, but it's not like a like a traditional double record where each
Yeah.
record is like 45 minutes and then the other one's 45. This one together is probably around 50 minutes. So it equals kind of, to me, it equals one record. Um, we just kind of, when we were writing this record, I think we had the idea of, okay, look, we're not gonna, instead of just doing a normal, 10 or 11 fuzzy, heavy songs, why don't we split it up and do maybe try some mellow stuff, one record, maybe 5 or 6, 7 songs heavy, you know, put them together as a double record, and um that was it. We just kind of, and we didn't even really think about that. It's kind of like when we write songs, so we'll write, hey, I got this riff, so we'll be at practice and showing everybody, and that we won't be fuzzy. It'll just be kind of mellow.
Oh,
And then everyone will try it and we'll kind of get it. And a couple of the songs were like, oh, that sounds pretty good without the fuzz pedals. So I remember at practice and then going home that night and going, oh, those sounded kind of cool without the fuzz. Next practice, I went to everybody. I said, hey, let's try and, some of this stuff, let's try mellow. We're not known as a mellow band, but let's try and do that. And that's kind of how it worked.
yeah.
So
And so, I mean, the mellows I think is really a highlight, and it's so cool to be seeing a band that's like you said known for kind of going nuts to kind of mellow out. But then did you listen to, I guess, ambient music and kind of the Eno and the Lasso just to get a grasp of what ambient music has become in like 2024? Or did you kind of just go with the flow and say what the hell and just go with it?
yeah, we just kind of went with it. Like, I think once we wrote a couple and then we figured, oh, those will work cool, like maybe a little bit of fuzz on there, but mellower. And then it just kind of like someone would come up with a riff and we're like, oh, that'll work heavy. It just kind of that'll work heavy. That one works kind of didn't really think about too much. We just kind of played stuff and what we thought would sound good, mellow we used. And, because like I said, we're not the most mellow band, but it was fun to do that. We haven't really done that. We maybe, we'll put a quieter song or two on a record, but this, and we had a bunch of stuff that we didn't even use, just because we wanted to keep both together around
Yeah.
50 minutes total. But
Are you
yeah,
hinting at an EP?
no, once, like what we do when we write stuff and we come up with a lot of extra stuff, we record everything at practice, and then we have it. And
Mhm.
then usually we're like, oh, maybe we'll use that for the next. We never do that ever. It's like, oh, we should revisit that, but we've already come up with new stuff, and
Yeah.
so it's like, it's fun coming up with new stuff on, instead of like, oh, that was 2 years ago. But it's well, we do record everything and we have it. And if we were like, oh, I remember that one riff we had, and so we'll go revisit it, and maybe if it works, we'll keep it. If not, then nah.
So you're telling me that you have like a vault of like a
Yeah,
bajillion undiscovered.
there's a
That's
lot of stuff.
insane.
We record, everything. We have a 4-track cassette recorder,
Hmm.
put one microphone in the middle of us at practice, and just go, and we record it, and we have everything. We've got every record we've done, we have probably 4 or 5 extra songs that were just like, those are cool, but not as good as the other stuff. And I don't know, maybe we're thinking of one day maybe to pick like the best one song that didn't make the record out of every session, and put
Uh,
it together.
well, I certainly want to see it. And then next session. So wait, let me get some backstory for this. Pallbearer is a doom band. I'm not sure if you know them, but they're like a kind of heavier, sadder band in the sense that you don't really mosh to them. You just kind of like hang your head in sadness. And they released a new album. And what I really loved about it is the fact that they brought in what I would consider one of the heaviest instruments other than, guitar and bass and drums, which is saxophone.
Uh-huh.
I'm not even close to a saxophone player. In fact, I'm a orchestra player.
Yeah.
But would you be open to the fact of having like a brass section to add this like 4D element to the music?
Whatever we would try whatever. I mean, a lot of our stuff like we would try whatever, but we would have to be able to pull it off live. Like if we did a bunch of like weird keyboard stuff and piano and yeah, maybe a trumpet or something or violin, we would do it, it'd sound cool, but we would have to do it to where we're like, are we going to be able to pull that off live? If we can't do it live, we probably more than likely wouldn't do it just because if everyone like heard the song and they're like, oh, that's great, I can't wait to hear that. It's like, ooh, well, we can't, but
Yeah,
we would be open to try anything like that, and if it, if we
that's
could
cool.
pull something off like, doing it live, we totally would do it.
So I'm getting that you don't like backing tracks.
No, 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 not I don't know. That's a weird thing. Us, no. No one, there's no reason for us to, you know, to use any kind of backing stuff. I mean, if we have like a theremin on one song, but like our bass player, he built this theremin and he could
Oh,
play it.
it's so
If we wanted
cool.
to do it, we could put it up on stage and he could do it. And but yeah, there's no, you'll never I guarantee here's a couple guarantees. You'll never see a computer doing live stuff with us, and you'll never see backing tracks with us. That's my
Those are
guarantee.
two great guarantees, honestly.
Yeah, yeah.
And because because my dad, I've seen some legacy acts and tribute acts, and they've always got some like really shitty recording in the background.
Yeah.
And when you then like a month later you go see Dinosaur Jr., it's just not the same.
Yeah.
It's not even close to the same, honestly.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm very glad to hear that that's out. It's
Yeah.
completely out of
That's
your range.
no. And first off, I would feel weird doing it. Like, secondly, the crowd would be not having it. They just wouldn't have it. Wouldn't have it.
Okay, so then a little bit on tour, right? How did you, I guess, get in, get like in contact with Clutch? How did this Clutch happen? Because when I'm like looking through forums of stoner rock and stuff, people always shit on Clutch for like being
Oh,
fake
really?
stoner rock or yeah, it's dumb. Honestly, I think it's dumb, but that is a sentiment that some people tend to have. It's
That's
outdated in my
weird.
opinion, but like, so how did you like meet the guys from Clutch?
We let's see, we played a show with Clutch and Monster Magnet.
Oh, love
Oh,
Monster Magnet.
yeah. Oh, geez. 19, maybe the end of 1983. I mean, not 83, 93 in Arizona. They were both on tour together, and we got to open a show for both of them in Arizona, 19 probably late 93 or very early 94, and met both those bands and we're huge fan, huge fan Monster Magnet. I heard them in 1989 and I was just like, oh my, just nuts. And yeah, we met them through that, and then we did a Clutch asked us to go out with them in 1996. We did a full US tour, and then we did another tour with Clutch and High on Fire. So yeah, we got to be friends with those dudes, and our bass player has filled in on bass for them. I think when Dan had to go home for an emergency when he was in Europe, and yeah, it's just we got to be friends with those guys, and they're a huge favorite of ours as well.
That's awesome. And High on Fire. Have you listened to the new album?
Yeah, yeah, we just played with them a couple weeks ago.
So
Actually,
good.
we just played with them a week ago in Europe.
Oh,
Yeah,
at
it
the
was nuts.
Hellfest?
No, it was what's a festival before we play? It was the might have been Grass Pop Festival.
Didn't Tool
I
play
can't
Grass
remember,
Pop?
but yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, we played right before him and we're hanging out with those guys. Yeah, awesome. Awesome. Very awesome.
they're so cool. And Matt Pike is like the sick uncle, that everyone just like loves. Always comes in with like a Miller Lite in his hand.
Yeah.
So cool.
Yeah. Yeah,
I
that's a pretty good
desperately want to
description.
get him on the podcast. He's
Yeah.
like
Oh, he's a
so
funny
cool.
dude. Yeah, he's a good dude.
And the one thing that also I got a bone to pick with him too, because he also everywhere except for Atlanta, man. They're killing me
Really?
here. They're killing me.
We usually do Atlanta. Like, I know
Do
the
you play the
last
mask?
we have played there. We played the Earl. Is that
The
a
early, yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah? Couple other places. We usually do Atlanta for sure. I know the last time we did the States, we played Atlanta. We usually almost always do Atlanta. So I'm almost positive when we hit the
Yeah, yeah.
next run, maybe early 2025, we'll be playing Atlanta.
Then maybe you'll play the festival. That'll be a cool change of pace for you guys. I think you may enjoy that.
Oh yeah, what is it? What festival is
The
it?
Shaky Knees. I
Oh,
was lucky enough to go this year, and then I'm gonna be speaking with their founder probably in fall, which means I'm gonna take some buddies next year.
oh,
And
nice.
I mean, I loved it. It's weird, but it's cool
Yeah,
that in the same sense, like a record store, like all the weirdos are together, like the Queens of the Stone Age.
yeah,
It's all
yeah,
the weirdos who were like bullied in high school. We're all just together and we're all just listening to fucking Queens of the Stone Age.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And it's so good. It's perfect.
Put our name, give him our name. We can pull it off.
Sure. Okay, so a question that someone asked and I really loved, and I think that you may love too. You're kind of known for wearing polos. That's kind of like your thing. And I'm a certified polo hater. I think it
Oh,
looks great on you, but for me, I just like little itchy, little scratchy
got
here
it,
and there.
got it.
Would you consider making a line of stoner rock and rockable polos?
No one would wear it. No one. Here's the thing, like mine are from when I was a kid, when in the late 70s. I was a kid, I was 6'3". I was as big as I am now
Yeah.
when I was that. So all those clothes I kept, those are all, we live by the beach, surf all the time, skate all the time. And that's just kind of what you wore, is like old OP or Hang 10. And I still have all my stuff and I still wear it all the time. And yeah, no one would buy it. It'd be like, no, I don't think so. And they wouldn't be in black, so I don't think anyone would really wear them. So
Well,
yeah,
keep it in
I'd
your
get it
mind,
for
man.
myself. Is what
Oh,
I would.
that'd be cool.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
it's like Louis Vuitton, like custom only for me.
yeah. That's a good
That'd be
idea.
pretty funny.
Look into that. Yeah, yeah.
Prestige into stoner rock. I wonder how that would do.
Oh God,
But they get
maybe. Yeah,
pissed on.
I know. I don't think people would be. Yeah, no, it wouldn't be a good idea. It'd be a losing money venture.
Yeah, and that's the thing I really loved about stoner rock. I still do love, is the fact that it's middle class. It's me, because a lot of the bands that are successful in pop, and I don't want to name any names because they're cool people, but it just sucks when you find out that like a band is, well, oh, they were rich, oh, their dad's in the music industry, they're like an executive at
Yeah,
fucking Warner Brothers,
no.
like that my heart sinks a little bit knowing that, because
Yeah, yeah. I know what
when
you're
they
saying.
look like in the garage, like what I'm doing, and they're in
Yeah,
the garage, and then you find out like, oh, they're famous because their dad slipped their
yeah.
name.
Got it.
It just really sucks. So for stoner rock and to see these real legitimate dudes doing the real thing, like
I think
100%.
I think a lot of like bands like us and like stoner bands like Caius and stuff and Clutch came from like a punk rock background, the early 80s. And it's like I know like good friends of the Caius guys, they would practice in Brant's parents' living room.
Yeah.
We used to practice in my parents' living room. They would go out to dinner and go, okay, we're going to be gone for a couple hours. Practice as long as you can, and the cops would show up after a half hour. And it's like, yeah, that's that you practice where you could, when you could, not the best conditions, but yeah, I think a lot of like stoner bands came from like, the punk rock background.
Yeah, yeah. What are your favorite punk bands?
Black Flag, easily Black, like they're my favorite band ever. ever. Like Damaged, their record Damaged
Yeah.
is, to me, it's the heavy. There's nothing heavier. Sabbath, there's nothing. I will go on for hours
I
about
got
how.
something that may be just as heavy though. The
What's
new
that?
Sumac record was heavy as hell. It's like I fell to
All
the
right.
ground when I heard it.
Okay, I'll give it a listen. What is it called? What's the name of it?
It's called The Healer.
Okay, I'll
It's
give it a listen.
incredibly heavy.
All right, I'll
It's
give it a listen.
almost too much.
Oh,
It's so
nice.
good.
Okay, okay.
But
Yeah, that's yeah. Black Flag's my favorite easily. Like, I mean, the Melvins are,
oh yeah, love me some
Melvins are just
Melvins.
nuts, but Damaged by Black Flag's easily my favorite record, favorite band.
So what do you think of Black Flag playing without original members and kind of like, with a different frontman, with a different basically a shell of what they were? Do you like support that? Is that something that
Um,
maybe you would do or
I went and saw them not recently, probably kind of when they got together again, maybe 10 years ago. I can't remember. And he's my favorite guitar player. Greg Ginn is my favorite guitar player. So I just wanted to go and watch him play. I just want, and we actually got to open for them at the benefit, like a cat benefit they did. Um, yeah, I mean, this is maybe 2008, maybe it was. And I just wanted to go to meet those dudes, It's like I'm all nervous. I'm just like, oh, gee, I could barely look at the. I just want to watch Greg Ginn play. He's still he was still,
oh yeah.
whether it's good or not, I don't know. I mean, if they're having a good time, cool. If you don't like it, don't go. I mean, that's to me, it's like if you're like, oh, that sucks, then just don't go. I don't know. I don't
It's
know
a
if they're
great way
having,
of keeping negativity out of it.
yeah, I mean, it's just, if you don't, like I said, if you're bummed out on it or you don't think they should be doing it, just don't go. I mean, it's that simple.
Yeah, yeah, because like a lot of band like Eagles. My mom's dream for her birthday was to see the Eagles, and they
Oh,
were
yeah.
conveniently playing Atlanta, and we saw them, and they were dog shit. Like they was incredibly bad, but I mean,
Yeah.
she was disappointed, and what I noticed is, it's like half the members are either discarded or sadly passed away or this or that. And like some people, like I don't know if you know Vince Gill, but he is a staple in the country scene. And I used to love watching videos about him because I love watching Flat Pickers. And
Uh-huh.
he was incredible. Like he was part of him, and it's so cool to see him replacing Don Henley. And in the
Oh,
same
really?
sense,
Oh,
come on, Don Henley isn't replaceable
yeah.
in that same.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, wow.
it's
Well,
two sides of the spectrum.
yeah, I mean, give it a shot, and it's like, even if I don't know, if you just don't like it, just don't go. I don't know. I
Exactly.
just
You only live once, is what I say.
yeah, and like for me, I just want to go and watch Greg Ginn play. He's my favorite guitar player, so I would just, I'd just be watching him how oh, that's how that go.
Mhm.
So yeah, don't like
And
something so
exactly. At your new shows, right? I haven't been right, but I assume that there have been like an increase in, I guess, the new generation, teenagers, kids, because I saw kids at almost all the crazy shows I've been to. Um, how do you wonder, like, sorry, do you wonder how the music is kind of going into the next generation? I was at Yellowstone and I saw a girl probably my age wearing a sick Fu Manchu shirt, just like in front of Old Faithful. Like, so it's like this sick ass
yeah.
geezer erupting. And then right there, I should have gotten a picture of it. Right there, like she's looking in the back of her shirt. It's perfect. Do you wonder like the impact that your music makes on us, on like
Yeah,
the little baby
yeah,
babies?
yeah. Like, are you guys, are younger kids into like actual guitars and drums and, finding a place? I live down in, very South Orange County by the beach, and there's actually quite a few bands that I like. These kids, there's a band that's going to we're going to play at the Troubadour at our record release in LA in a month.
Troubadour is so nice.
And yeah, oh, favorite club to play. And they're three kids that just graduated high school. They got fuzz pedals. They sound like a mixture of Sabbath, Old Flipper, and some
Yeah.
weird rock stuff. So yeah, it's like I think maybe kids are like, getting a guitar. Oh, it make noise. This is fun. Oh, let's, get my buddy to play drum. Yeah, it kind of restores a little bit of faith as, kids are pulling it off, because I want to hear some good stuff when I get older. I want to be like, oh yeah, okay, so
Yeah, yeah. I hate the take that like music is dying because I mean it may be like slightly less than usual, but there's so many incredible bands doing weird shit and just making like the craziest noises ever, noises that like I didn't know existed. And it really gives me faith. If you're in Orange County, I really suggest, I don't know, you probably know OCs, but you should definitely see OCs when they come around to LA because they're like the coolest band ever. They're
oh,
so
the
cool.
OC. Oh, okay, yeah, got it. Yeah, yeah, I know who they are. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. They're
Doesn't he play a clear
yeah,
guitar?
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
okay, yeah, I know those
You
dudes.
know their
Yeah.
next album is a complete horn album. There's
Oh,
no guitar. It's all horns.
really?
Yeah,
Wow. That's interesting.
crazy. And it's so
Yeah.
good. It just sounds like a really fuzzed out guitar, honestly.
Oh, nice.
It's
Oh,
like a
wow. That's
tight
cool.
fuzz. It's so cool.
Is their record out now or is it coming out?
No, it's coming out in September.
Wow, I'll have to check. That's interesting. I'll have to check that out.
Oh yeah,
Nice,
it's so good.
nice. Very
And
nice.
see, so we're coming up on our last 4 minutes, and I'm gonna give you a big question, okay?
Oh,
um, I've been working on how to explain this a little better, so let me know if I explained it well, and let me know if you need any clarification. Either you can give me three things in one category, and it can be any category. So if we're saying rock musicians or favorite amps or hell, favorite times to play in the day, to three. Or you can do the opposite and give me three separate things. So in that same sense, you can give me like a favorite tube amp, a favorite city that you like to hang out in on tour, and
oh,
maybe
okay.
like your favorite poisonous animal. So
Got
the
it.
thing is,
Got
it's
it.
got to be to change someone's life. So any categories, it just has to be
Oh,
three of one or one of three.
I will say favorite, oh boy, maybe favorite musical styles.
Sounds good.
I would say my top one is old 80 to 85, 86 hardcore punk rock. And then probably maybe 87, 88 to 90, mid 90s, like I don't want to say grunge, but like Soundgarden and Tad and early Nirvana stuff. And then, oh God, what's the third? I can pick a third. What's another favorite? Um, maybe some like early 80s new wavy type stuff like the Cars and Devo,
Yeah,
even
yeah.
B-52s.
Here
Uh,
in Athens,
oh, that's true. Oh, there you go. That's true. That's true. I've been listening to um Private Idaho by BP like a lot. Like we
Yeah,
might
yeah.
we might even cover that song. I might bring it up to the
That would
guys,
be so cool.
make it slow and heavy and
Imagine Love
really
Shack.
cool. It's got a really cool riff in it.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
okay, now
Honestly,
you
that'd be incredible.
three things I hate or that
No,
I
no, that's it. That's perfect.
Oh, that was it. Oh, okay,
Yeah.
good. Because
And it's
I was
perfect
gonna
timing because we're at less
nice.
than a minute and I don't want to get cut off by Zoom.
Oh,
I
okay,
just want
cool.
to say it's been an absolute honor speaking to you.
Well, thank you.
You're an absolute living legend.
Oh
I'm
well.
taking you up on that offer to be on stage, okay? I'm gonna do some
Yeah. Oh
crazy
yeah.
fucking riffs with my jazz master, okay?
Yeah.
And
We get up and you play violin. We'll get you on a song.
sure,
Get you on
man.
a song. Yeah.
I really appreciate it. Also, thank you to the dudes at Shelter Music.
Ah,
Y'all are sick. Brian, I think that's your name. Thank you. I want to
Ryan
work
Frank.
with you.
Yeah.
But
Cool.
I don't want to get cut off. It's been an honor. It's been a pleasure.
Thank
Have
you,
a
man. Thank
wonderful
you.
day. And
Thank you.
I'm gonna see you in Atlanta, okay?
Yes, we will get you on stage.
Yes, sir. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you, man. See ya.